Saudi Arabia was caught red-handed spreading fake news. And possibly you might even be able to call this, meddling in U.S. elections. Where have you heard that phrase before? Only about 1 million times in regards to the Mueller investigation and Russiagate. So the Daily Beast says the following. Twitter removed almost 90,000 accounts linked to the Saudi Arabian government that were found to be part of a propaganda campaign. The company announced on Friday. According to Bloomberg, the accounts were amplifying messages favorable to Saudi authorities by engaging in tweets about politics, specifically about Iranian sanctions and the murder of Washington Post columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Researchers from the Stanford Internet Observatory traced the origin of the tweets to SMAT, however you pronounce it, a Saudi-based social media company that is controlled by the Saudi royal family. The accounts of the company and the company's senior executives have also been suspended, Twitter said. This comes after 2 ex-Twitter employees and a Saudi national were charged by the U.S. for helping the Saudi government spy on dissidents on the social media platform. Wow. One of the individuals charged was an executive with SMAT who worked on behalf of the royal family. Oh boy. Okay, so this is exactly what Russia's accused of doing. And in the case of Russia, there's so much less evidence. And in the case of Saudi Arabia, it's apparently overwhelming. And by the way, there was a PBS Frontline documentary on Saudi Arabia, and they went into tremendous detail about this exact thing, and it's been obvious for years that they've been doing this. Nobody is organically on the side of the Saudi regime in the case of Jamal Khashoggi, where this poor guy was murdered. Nobody's out there oh, Saudi Arabia did nothing wrong. Nobody's saying that. Nobody's saying that. So it should have been weird when there were all these accounts tweeting stuff like that. It should be weird when all these accounts come out of nowhere and they act like, you know what's wonderful? Increase sanctions on Iran, a country that's already struggling, and this massively hurts their civilian population. But I think it's a good idea. That's not organically happening. It's just not. So all this pro-Saudi Arabia stuff, by the way, nobody is saying these things otherwise. They have no case. They have no point. They don't have a strong argument on their side. They're obviously a brutal, theocratic, authoritarian regime. So you buy support in a situation like that. Now, look at the response you got when 3 Russians who were indicted. They'll never see a day in court, by the way, in the U.S. because they don't live in the U.S., but for running the troll farms. Well, come to find out, the troll farms were really just to make money. It was clickbait, just to make money. And they pumped up all these different candidates. It wasn't oh my God, they're only trying to help Donald Trump. And it wasn't effective. I get way more impressions on one tweet than these guys got on everything they ever did. And it was, a big national scandal. But you know who's really guilty of the stuff we always accuse Russia of being guilty of? The United States of America. We created a fake Twitter in Cuba to try to get them to overthrow the government, to try to get the people to be subversive and overthrow their government. That's what we did. Want to talk about election meddling? We're trying to overthrow a government through social media. In the case of Saudi Arabia, 90,000 accounts linked to the Saudi government. So it's a case of projection. Now, am I saying that, Russia's never done anything to influence other? Of course they have. But what I am saying is, whatever we do is way above and beyond. Whatever Saudi Arabia does is way above and beyond. And it's obvious. It's so obvious, man. But you're not going to hear a peep about this. You're not going to hear much about this at all. There's going to be no congressional investigation. There's going to be no Saudi gate about this. None of that. Why? They're an ally. If you're an ally, we let you get away with anything. We let you get away with anything. No big deal. You're our boy. We got business deals together. We got the petrodollar situation going on. You got a lot of oil, man. We need that oil. We'll be your protection. We'll send American men and women to die, and we'll arm you to bomb babies in Yemen. Whatever. It's all fine and dandy, because that's the way it works. That's the way the system works. So, weird. You don't hear nearly as much noise about this compared to the Russia situation. And this, they were caught red-handed, proven, pushing out bogus narratives, literally apologizing for the murder of Jamal Khashoggi, taking the side of the murderers. That's what they were doing. Seems like a bit of a scandal to me. And by the way, I never knew that, what it said at the end of the article here, the thing about how Twitter employees were taken down for spying on behalf of Saudi Arabia. So they literally, like, infiltrated social media networks and spied on their dissidents. We are living in a futuristic sci-fi novel, and it's definitely dystopian, and this is definitely terrifying.